Hello, in this video I'm gonna be showing you how to install Windows on DELL XPS 13. And there's a lot to unpack here, so let's begin by the reasons why you may want to install it. So most probably it'll be because you don't have access to your system, because you've forgotten your password and weren't able to restore it. Of course, there's a video on our channel on how to restore the forgotten PIN or password, so I highly recommend watching that. But if you still weren't able for some reason, then you may want to reinstall Windows, right? Then if you don't have any system, or if it's corrupted and doesn't work properly, then you also may want to reinstall it so it all works. And there's a few more reasons, just like I think any reason is fine, but remember that all the data will be erased, so back it up if you have access to your system right now. And let's begin by the fact that you need to be plugged into power, so plug your laptop in right now, so you just don't, so it starts charging and you have enough power to run, and don't unplug the power until like the end of the video, basically. I mean, until the last step shown in the video. Now let's begin by also the fact that you need to verify whether your model runs Windows 11 or not. And to do that, it's the best to look at the model, the exact model number that you have, and it'll be written on the bottom, most probably under some door or something like that. So I'm gonna flip the laptop over. And you can see I have these doors right here. Let's open them up. And now I have the service tag, which is the serial number. I know it's upside down right now, but I'm just gonna take a picture of it and we'll type it into a website. You can use another device to do it. Okay. Of course, if you know for sure that your laptop works with a certain OS, then you don't need to worry about that. But let's go to the browser. And also, while the browser is loading, I'm gonna tell you that you will need a USB drive that's at least 8 gigabytes. And you also may need a second Windows device that you can probably borrow from someone, or your old device that runs Windows, so a laptop or PC, most probably, because you will need to create the drive. You'll need to download the image of Windows that you're gonna burn into the USB. And yeah, so let's go to Dell support just to find out. Something has happened and I don't really know what, so I'm gonna go back. I think my laptop might have gotten discharged because my charger doesn't really work properly. Okay, so I'm back. I just needed to switch my charger to like something else because it's malfunctioning. And now feel free to just enter the service tag into your field, right? So I'm gonna do that. Okay, I think it'll be great. Yeah, and we have it. And what we should look for is the specifications. So we'll probably find it somewhere. And if not, then it's not too good, but yeah, I hope we find it. Okay, if I click on quick links, it shows me view product specs, and that's what I need, because we need to check which CPU do we have, right? So first of all, if it says TPM included, then it's the first step to know that it supports Windows 11, because Windows 11 requires TPM. Now, but yeah, you should expand it, probably, or not. No, never mind that. The most important one is the CPU. And yeah, so you can see in my case it's the 7th generation Intel Core i7, which means it does not support Windows 11. The 8th generation or newer in Intel will be supported, and for AMD you just need to find out yourself. This is like the model number, you can see, you can just search it up yourself. And mine does not support Windows 10 but Windows 11, but I'm still gonna be installing it, so I'm gonna provide instructions for it. Although if you just don't want to mess around with installing something that you technically shouldn't, like, but you actually can, then I'm also gonna show you how to get the Windows 10. So what you should do is search now for the Windows ISO. So I'm gonna be searching Windows 11 ISO, but if you decided to get Windows 10 because Windows 11 is not supported, and you just don't want to get the Windows 11, even though it actually doesn't do anything bad for you, you know, but if you get the Windows 11, even if it's not officially supported, but if you just don't feel comfortable with that for whatever reason, then feel free to simply get the Windows 10, right? So you should search in the browser for Windows 10 or Windows 11 ISO, and in Windows 11 download, you'll have this option to download Windows 11 disk image ISO, and that's what you should do. I'm gonna in a moment show you what happens in case on Windows 10. So yeah, now let's get that. I just need to select multi-edition ISO, then select the product language, and click on confirm. And now I'm gonna be starting downloading. For Windows 10 you won't have the Windows ISO file to be downloaded from the website. Instead there will be something called Media Creation Tool, and you can get that, then open it, and then you'll have an option to either create a USB drive or download ISO file. You can technically already create the USB drive from there, or select ISO, and if you select ISO, then the further steps after that will be exactly the same as in my case. So you'll just get the ISO file, which you can later use in a tool that I'm gonna download right now, and it's called Rufus. So you should search for rufus.ie. On this website you'll have the tool for creating the Windows, and also this tool lets you bypass these Windows 11 limitations if your device does not support it. And I think that on DELL XPS, I think that the Windows 11 will work better even if it's not officially supported. That's why I would highly recommend getting the Windows 11 even if your device doesn't support it. But yeah. So now we're gonna be waiting, and also as another layer, just to be extra sure about it, you can get the Wi-Fi driver for your device. So I'm gonna go back to the support because I'm gonna explain in a moment, but once we are in the support, we have entered the service tag, go to drivers and downloads, and now I should see it. By the way, in drivers and downloads, it also shows it here that the requirements from Windows 11 aren't supported on this device, but yeah, as I said, you can still get the Windows 11 if you want that, right? And it'll have a longer support, better options, I think. So yeah, I don't really see the option to manually find app drivers, and that's not really good. So I'm gonna try to well, it's not what I was looking for, because I was looking for the manual update. There should be an option for that, and Yeah, just never mind that. But if you have the option to manually update, then it's really I mean, to manually select drivers, then it's really great, because you can select that, then find wireless or wireless LAN drivers or Wi-Fi, whatever. That will be for the Windows version that is supported. And also, you know, it's for Wi-Fi, not for Bluetooth, for example. And then you can download it, and once we finish, I'm gonna do the Rufus tool in a moment with the ISO file once it downloads. Once we finish that, then I'm gonna provide the instructions on it right now. You can just get the file, find it in your file explorer, right? Most probably in downloads, and yeah, so if you go to downloads, you'll have the file here, the driver file that you have downloaded, and then you can just drag it to your USB drive, which will be named CCCOMA. If you've used the Rufus tool, or if you've created the USB drive using the Microsoft Media Creation tool, it'll have the EFI USB name, and just drag it into that. It'll get copied, and later on, while like in the last steps of this video, there will be a moment where you have to connect to Wi-Fi. If it doesn't show any Wi-Fi network, then you will need to press on Shift and F10 on your keyboard, or if it doesn't work, then Shift, Fn and F10. Fn is the key on the left side of the Windows key, which is like F function key, whatever. So click on Shift and F10 or Shift Fn F10, and it'll bring a black window. I'm gonna try to like find it here just to show you how it should look. Because I know that in this case, on this exact model, the Wi-Fi driver will get installed, so I'm not gonna be showing you that. So I wanna show you that right now, in case on your model it doesn't get downloaded, because if you don't get the Wi-Fi driver, then you won't be able to install any other drivers. Alright, because as you install Windows, not everything works from the very beginning, and that's why you should get the drivers from the at least the Wi-Fi drivers, because the other ones will get installed automatically once you connect to internet. But if you don't have the Wi-Fi driver, you cannot connect to internet. So yeah, this black window will show up if you are clicking on Shift F10 in the setup process once it asks you to connect to internet, and then you will need to click on the top bar of this window to bring it to front. Then most probably type in D:. It'll switch a drive. You can see it shows you the path where the command prompt is located right now. Now I'm on D drive, which is my USB drive. And to check that, you can simply just type in dir, and if it shows you files like this, and also somewhere amongst these files there is the driver file that you have copied, then it's great. If not, then try switching to E:, F:, and so on, and typing in dir after you switch, so you can see what's on the drive. And then you should just find the driver name, type in the first 3 digits, and click on Tab key on the left side of the Q letter in most keyboard layouts, or on the left side of A letter in French layout, and then simply it'll auto-finish the name for you, so you don't have to type in the long name manually. Just click on Enter then, and it'll open the window of installing Wi-Fi drivers, and then just click on Next, Accept, and so on. And once it gets installed, most probably your Wi-Fi will work. So yeah. I'm just gonna get back to you when that's downloaded, because I think it may take a longer while than I'm expecting. Okay, so now it is downloaded. So I'm gonna open the Rufus tool first. Let's just click on yes. Now you can agree or disagree to the updates. It doesn't really matter. Now select the USB drive. If you have multiple ones here and don't know which one to choose, just unplug the ones that you don't want erased, because it'll of course erase all the data on your drive, on your USB drive. Now let's click on select right here and select the ISO, so it'll be either named like that or named Windows, whatever, and most probably in the downloads folder. If it's somewhere else, then you need to find it yourself. Let's click on open, and now wait a moment until it scans the image, and now it's gonna be a very important step. Yeah, let's wait. Okay, so now the image was scanned, and don't change anything here, it's not really important. Just click on start, and then remove the requirement for these RAM, Secure Boot, and TPM 2.0. These are required so that you can install Windows 11 if your device doesn't support it. And even if your device supports Windows 11, you can still leave the checkbox. And that I'm gonna unselect just like for my own reasons. And you can also unselect that because it'll make you not have an option to skip the Wi-Fi. So like, yeah, you need to connect to Wi-Fi anyway to get the drivers, so it does not really matter. Now it's doing everything. It may take a moment, so I'm gonna get back to you when that's done. And now it's almost finished, so when you get to the point where it says ready on a green background, you should, if you were now using the other device to get that tool because you couldn't use the DELL, then you should move on to the DELL. Just plug it in to unplug the drive from the other device when it says ready here, and then plug it into the DELL and shut down your DELL if it's currently on. So I'm just gonna get back to you when the customization is done, because it takes longer than I expected. Okay, so I'm gonna shut the DELL down now. Okay, I don't have the option to shut down without the update, so I'm gonna press and hold on the power button for long enough that the laptop turns off. To be sure that your laptop is turned off, the light on the power button shouldn't be lit up. Now press on the power button, and immediately after you release it, start repeatedly pressing on F12 key on your keyboard. And by the way, your USB drive should be plugged in before you press on the power button. So yeah, let's wait until it shows the screen. Okay, now if it starts loading with the blue bar, you can actually release the F12 key. Yeah. Okay, and if everything was done correctly, in UEFI boot devices, you should see your UEFI generic USB, or like anything that says USB. Select the first option if you have to, and wait a moment. In a moment we'll get to the Windows 11 installation, and we'll see everything. Okay, and now select the language to install. I'm just gonna check if the touchpad works here. It does, so it's great, you can use it. Select the language and time and currency format, then click on next. Select the keyboard or input method, and now agree that everything will be deleted. If you're installing Windows 10, then these steps may vary a little bit, but the most important one will be there in a moment. And yeah, so basically you just need to get to a step which will be there after the agreement, and this will be the disk selection step. And on Windows 10 installation, to get to that, you'll need to select custom installation, because you'll have an option to either do an upgrade or custom installation. So select the custom one, because we need to just erase the drive, the built-in drive. Okay, and now you can see we have disk 0 and disk 1. We can see that disk 1 is our USB, because it has the name that USB had, right? And also the total size summed up from all partitions is about the size of my USB, so it's right. And for disk 0 we have several partitions, and we should get rid of those. So just click on partition 1 and click on delete partition, and repeat that step until there's only disk 0 unallocated space. So yeah, it may take a moment. I think on Windows 10 it's a bit faster, but yeah. Now it's done, I believe, and we can just select the disk 0 unallocated space. Once it's selected, we can click on next, and then the last button to press before we start installing, which is install. And now it'll start loading, and I'm gonna get back to you when that's done. By the way, your laptop may restart several times, don't worry about that. Also, if your screen flashes, don't worry about that. You should just leave it plugged into power, don't touch on anything, and don't try to turn it off while it's being done, because it may break your laptop. So just wait now, and I'm gonna get back to you when that's done. And starting off with this moment where you see the white screen in a moment, you can basically unplug the drive, the USB drive, if you want to, or if you've forgotten to move the driver file. But you can wait a moment to see if it'll be actually needed. So here select the country or region, then click on yes, and now select the keyboard layout or input method, right? Okay, now you can add another one or skip it. I'm gonna skip it, and now now it's the network time. Right, so you can see in my case it shows the Wi-Fi networks. If it doesn't in your case, then do the steps that I told you earlier in the video about, like the Shift F10, right? Do everything and the Wi-Fi should appear, or if you've forgotten to move the file, you can unplug the drive right now and plug it back in once you copy the files, right? Now I'm just gonna connect to a network because I need that to install updates. It is pretty important because, you know, not everything works from the beginning. Like maybe your camera doesn't work, your microphone and stuff, so you probably want to get that. And now it is checking for updates, so don't worry, you don't need to click on anything, just wait until it gets done. Don't unplug your laptop from power just yet, and I'm gonna get back to when that's done. By the way, your laptop may flash, the screen may flash, and the screen and the laptop may restart. Okay, now once it's done, it asks you to name your device, so if you wish to do that, you can do it, but I'm gonna skip it because it takes more time than necessary since it has to restart the computer, and it still will give my device a name, so I don't really care about that. Now in a moment we'll have a second update, hopefully, because this second update will be longer but will install more things, although still, even if the second update goes, then you'll still need to update later in the system in Windows Update in settings, so yeah. Now select personal use because it doesn't ask you for the purpose here, it asks you for the owner who will have control over the computer. So like for worker school, probably it's being set up by the organization, but yeah. And now it'll start checking for Windows updates, and this will take much longer than the previous one, and also your screen may flash, it may restart. There's lots of things that can be going on during that update, and don't worry about that. So I'm just gonna wait, I guess. And now once it's updated, you can log into the Microsoft account, and of course it's mandatory. Of course there's a video on our channel on how to skip it, but if you don't care about that, just log in, you know. It gives you some options that not logging in doesn't give you, right? So yeah, but there's an option to bypass it in case you really need it, but I wouldn't be bothered about that. I'm failing to enter the password, but I hope it's correct, yeah. Now, if you want, you can set up the face unlock or click use fingerprint instead to set up fingerprint. I'm gonna skip both, then create the pin, and you can include letters and symbols or just enter the numerical one, and that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, then click on OK. And now there will be just a few finishing steps, like the privacy settings. I encourage you to actually read those and deciding on your own whether you want to enable or disable those. And then let's see what else does it ask us. Now it asks you if you want to customize your experience. I'm gonna skip that because it doesn't do anything besides customizing the advertisements. And then it also asks you if you want to connect your phone to the PC. I'm gonna skip that, but feel free to do it. And probably it will also ask me to upload photos to OneDrive, and I also don't want that, so I'm gonna skip that. Then there will be the recent browser data. I'm also gonna skip that, and the Microsoft 365 family, which I'm also gonna skip, and the basic Microsoft 365 also will be skipped by me. Okay, actually it didn't ask me about that. Maybe it listens to me, so let's just click on next, where we have to click on next. And now it's either gonna be done or it's gonna ask me about some Game Pass subscription or whatever. Yeah, and it's done. But before I finish this video, you should go to the settings, because not everything works yet. You should go to the settings and then go to Windows Update. And in Windows Update, you should actually download and install all. So yeah, if you clicked on that, it'll probably start soon, and all of that later on may prompt you to restart your device. So if it does, just do it. And that's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.